After going through the basic tenets of magnetism, its main principle, its components, among others, in the previous videos of this series, in this last video we'll talk about the ultimate purpose of magnetism and its main distinction from charisma. But before we do, it's important to clear out an important aspect. Unlike what it may seem from past videos, magnetism itself is not an effort. It flows and it's easy. It may not look that way, particularly in the beginning of your training, where the different exercises and developments can be hard to accomplish, and you are unblocking all these aspects in you. This part itself can be effortful and hard, since you have to confront parts of you that you would prefer to be hidden. But magnetism in itself is not effortful. If, after you advance in your training, it's taking effort to continue being magnetic, then something needs to be fixed or healed. It means the wrong mental, bodily, and energetic habits are in place, and you still have something holding you back, particularly leaks, which means that your training is not over. As you know by now, leaks and blocks drain your magnetism away, which will then force you to have to gain more, hence more magnetism growing exercises. But you don't exactly need that if you don't waste it, or have little waste. In other words, if you fix your blocks and magnetic leaks, the magnetism will continue inside of you. Otherwise, it's like trying to fill a leaky bucket, and in that case, yes, magnetism will seem very hard indeed, particularly if you regularly feel drained at the end of your day with no magnetism when it was quite powerful in the morning, so you know that you still have strong leaks and blocks. It's easy to understand how it happens. Just think about what happens if you walk around daily with a tense fist. Your hand is closed tightly and very tensely all day long. If you try it for a few minutes, you'll notice how tired you become. After a while, you start to lose energy. It's expected that you become more tired, you have tense muscles. And energy contraction is like a contracted muscle. Sometimes it's really a muscle as well as not only energetic, so it's slowly stealing energy away from you. That's why you lose your magnetism. It's not because the exercises are weak, you are doing them wrong or any other aspect. The most common culprits are the blocks and leaks that you might have inside of yourself that slowly drain away your magnetism. Remember, magnetism is effortless and flows well. If it's hard for you, then you must become more aware of your blocks and leaks, particularly where you are losing it. So, even though the training can be some work, magnetism itself is not. This can make you feel a bit jealous from those who have it easy and not had to go through this whole process. Some people just naturally understand and develop magnetism. You'll meet them in all walks of life. People that either had an inborn talent or an upbringing that for some reason made them naturally magnetic. We cannot really know for sure whether this is something that is present from birth or developed through the upbringing. For example, you find natural sexually magnetic individuals that have no problem eliciting and projecting sexual energy. They don't think about it or analyze it or do any kind of exercises for it. It's simply something they do. They are internally and externally resonating with sexual energy. Similarly, you can find natural leaders who emanate a dense magnetism filled with tension energy. Maybe they refine their magnetism later in life, but you can find them being magnetic from very early in life. Unfortunately for me, I had none of this. I wasn't born with magnetism, nor did I have an upbringing that made me realize this naturally. In fact, I didn't understand anything about it, so I had to study it, train it, and develop it with the help of my teacher. Although I started learning magnetism with only external goals, in my case, being a shy teenager, I just wanted to get a girlfriend. It slowly shifted into much more than this. It shifted into a deep surge of understanding myself and the world surrounding me. It stopped being just about getting power or sex or any other material pursuits, but it became much different. It doesn't take much to understand why this happens, particularly as you now understand that magnetism is part of a larger system inside of you. So, with an understanding of energy, mind, will, you can go quite deep into this quest. I admit that, most likely, I wouldn't have started if it wasn't out of pain or failure, or frustrations, lack of power, or inadequacy. That's why I will never judge anyone looking for power, sex, or any other material pursuit, as I was looking for them myself as well. But because of that, I am now grateful for not having been born magnetic. because if I did, it would have robbed me of the opportunity to dive much deeper into this energetic world, into myself and into the universe. I would most likely not have started this path that gave meaning and purpose to my life. So it doesn't really matter why you start, your current pain and frustrations and what you want to achieve. Whatever they are, they become an opportunity to discover your meaning and live a life with purpose. Like myself, many of us are on a continuous journey to know ourselves in one way or the other. We may do plenty of online quizzes or even psychological evaluations, yet there's always something missing because those things can be pretty general. They give you only what you believe to be true about yourself. In any online personality survey, you are asked many questions about yourself, to which you reply based on what you believe to be true. The results will reflect those beliefs. And it can be helpful up to a certain degree, but it's only a start. You need a much more honest and significant assessment. What truly reveals us is our relationship with others, sex, with money, with business, power, wealth, and our overall behaviors. The way we handle these aspects reveal who we truly are. What do you do once you get an ounce of power over someone or a group of people? Who do you become? What do you do with the power? We all like to say that we only try to benefit the group and so forth, but if we are completely honest, what really happens? How does your mind transform? What changes? How do you deal with sex or with lack of it? Who do you become? What are your desires? What are your impulses? What's on your mind? What are your blocks protecting you from? What are you avoiding? That's why it's essential to understand and develop these energies in you, to develop this magnetism. They reveal exactly what lies underneath. So it's not a coincidence that we focus on tension and sexual energy. They mirror how you deal with power and sex and the blocks that stand in your way. In the magnetic training, all of it becomes exposed for you to see. Whether you will want to see them or not, or what you want to do with it, it's up to you. It's interesting how, from this, you quickly discover your life path and many decisions in life become effortless. That is, in fact, the evolution of magnetism, the development of charisma. In the first video, I told you that charisma was different from magnetism, a step up, if you will. While magnetism, as we have seen right in the first video, is this distinctive atmosphere or energy that surrounds a person, and we consider the different energy qualities that you want to develop, such as sexual energy, tension energy, so we pretty much start to eliminate blocks in its path. Charisma is beyond it. As you continue to dive deeper into the world of energy and the mind, you'll come across the one energy, an energy that encompasses sexual energy, tension energy, and all the energy qualities that we can identify. We call it the one energy or the universal will. This is the one energy quality that unifies everything and everyone. And once this energy can emanate from you, we reach charisma. It happens when your will aligns itself with universal will. You emanate the one energy, the universal will, through your own particular will. And, as Atkinson puts it, you fulfill the I am. The energy of charisma comes out of you effortlessly when you are truly connected with this one energy, with this universal will. It's like you enter the flow of life. And that's our ultimate purpose, to make sure that our will and the universal will are aligned internally and externally, so that the one energy flows easily. Your will is no longer seeking random desires created by society and our animal impulses, like having a bigger car, more sex, more money, more power, but it becomes something deeper that comes from the depth of your being, and bigger still, the universal will, that larger energy that flows with you, as well as everything and everyone else. So you are no longer a closed circuit inside of you, but instead it becomes like an open circuit where you are part of it, but also everyone and everything else. When you connect with this one energy, all of a sudden your true purpose, your life purpose, is 100% clear and everything seems to flow. It doesn't mean that your life will be perfectly comfortable and $100 bills will come flying from the air, but it means that you know who you are and what you need to do. Whether this path will involve being wealthy or not, have a lot of worldly power or not, it's something that you'll discover for yourself. It's not like everything else stops mattering, but you see it from what it truly is. This charismatic connection with the universal will or the one energy, won't be perfect, since you're still going to taint it in some way. But maybe the best word is not tainted, since it's like you are contaminating it, as if something negative, and when it's not. But instead, you will have your own expression of the universal will. Will it still be the universal will? Well, you can think about it as light still shining the same light when looked from a kaleidoscope? Well, of course, it's just being reflected differently. That's what your will does when you are connected with universal will. It reflects it in its own unique way. Of course, you may not have any type of interest in doing so. You may not even want or desire to get here. Maybe at this point of your life, you just want to get more money, more power, more sex, and that's perfectly alright. As I told you, I went through the same exact thing and spent a long time just fully enjoying the material benefits of magnetism. Fortunately, you can use the same process and training to whatever you want to go, to get the material benefits of magnetism and a deeper connection to your universal will. The path and choice is 100% yours. Either for magnetism or charisma to be fully unleashed inside of you, you only need to do one thing. You need to not stop the energy flow inside and out of whatever energy that you are connecting with. It seems like it's an apparent easy goal, yet at the same time, it can feel impossibly hard. Our thoughts, our blocks, emotions, our mind, everything seems to get in the way. And so the road of getting there is to learn precisely what prevents a natural energy flow and how we can connect with it. The process is the same, whether for any kind of sexual or personal magnetism, just like in charisma. What changes is what you are connecting with. And that's exactly what we do in all our magnetic paths. We need to let go of our internal armor and clean up our defense mechanisms, such as the blocks created as we attempt to defend ourselves from the environment. Those blocks had a good and worthwhile purpose. They were the best way that we knew how to protect ourselves from threats. But now, we can figure out the best way. We don't need to contract our heart center each time that we go on a date. This is not exactly threatening our lives. Most of these defense mechanisms need to be undone. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for good enough. You don't need to be a perfect human being with no blocks, where absolutely everything flows easily, but instead, you're looking for understanding of these internal mechanisms and good enough for several energies to flow inside of you. Of course, for this to happen, you need to know where they are, how they are working inside of you, and start to let go of them at the same time that you are increasing your energy awareness and working on your mental armor through your inner power training and connecting with your will. By doing this, through your energy awareness, inner power, projection, what's stopping your interaction with the external world? Your projection. You can develop a genuine connection to your will, and once this path is open, you'll begin to notice universal will. Little by little, you'll finally begin to listen to an authentic, unique energy. And this is what gives you the answers that you seek to your purpose and other decisions in life. So as you continue to work through your blocks, in other words, you keep releasing and healing different ways you are protecting yourself, as well as reflecting on your behaviors, impulses, and what is leaking and modulating your energy, you start to get more authentic, more true to yourself, and you achieve the true charisma. Whether you follow through in this whole path, or when you do it, or if you simply want to join the material benefits of magnetism, this is your choice. Either way, you have the freedom to choose. And that's the most important keyword from our approach to magnetism and charisma: freedom. Freedom from our own internal prisons, created by us, that keeps us insulated from new experiences and new ways of seeing and interpreting reality. They are like bricks that create the huge wall that isolates the real you. As you destroy them, as you dissolve them, these walls crumble down, and you start to feel events and people differently. A new reality opens before your eyes, and you start to feel a part of you that was hidden, not gone or vanished, so it wasn't something that you now created, but it's something that was there all along. It's similar to recognizing an old friend that you haven't seen in a while. It starts to come out more and more as your defense mechanisms lower. And this is when you discover your core, your true will, your inner self that was hidden under layers and layers of old conditionings. So you can connect with it, you can feel it, as well as everything around you. That's what we focus on doing in Charisma School. develop the freedom of being the real you. In here, we end this free course of Awakening Magnetism and Charisma. I hope you now have understood the big picture of what we train. See you soon.